Hello, I'm Kats, and welcome back to the free-to-play review. So today's topic is going to be the latest iteration of the summon pool. You can already see it here, the Defenders summon pool. So lots of defense-based champions, and oh boy, the headline champion is Newt, one of probably the most desirable non-void legendaries in the game, dare I say. And yeah, he's up for grabs, but honestly, it's a pretty good mix of legendaries overall, and a decent mix of epics. Taking it from the top, of course, Newt is extremely powerful, single target, max HP, triple hitter, one of the best in the game, and also probably the best champion in the game for Fire Knight, hard mode, and at normal mode alike. Got Freya Fate Weaver in the mix, one of the best protectors in the game, specifically more so for PvP, but she can also serve in PvE. But a cleanser, a big shield, increased defense, and then of course the passive that will keep or give an instant turn to one of your allies when they're about to be killed. Vault Keeper Wixwell, very, very popular right now with the Titus team. So if you didn't do this fusion last year, this could be your opportunity to get him. Harima, still one of the best defensive-based legendary nukers in the entire game. Stultus, kind of up there, a little bit worse than Harima in terms of the overall damage output potential, but great for Dragon in any instances where you have to deal with poisons. I also use him for farming Dune Tower Waves because he does have an AoE stun, and he also brings his own increased defense, which is something that Harima does not do. Mishinaki, I have 3 Mishinakis on my account, and I use each of them on a different Hydra team, so super good for that. Decreased defense, decreased attack, hex, buff removal, super powerful champion, super fun to use. Lysanthier Beastbane, I believe is this guy's name. Yeah, previous fusion from a few months ago. He's up there in terms of damage. I think he came out to, or he ended up being somewhere on par with Thor, just because of his multiple hitting or repeatable attack on his A2, I believe. So he's a pretty decent damage leader. He's a pretty good fusion, even though a lot of people didn't go for him. Feral the Barkhorn, decent champion, and great for Hydra, great for Chimera, but block buffs is kind of his claim to fame, but also perfect veil, increased accuracy, I think decreased resistance. I think that's in his kit. Sorry, flip that around. Decrease accuracy and increase resistance. But yeah, very, very solid champion. Good against the Head of Torment in Hydra, and then good against obviously just putting a lot of buffs out there. And his passive is really powerful as well. The more buffs you have on your team, I think you unlock more damage capability. And the last but not least, we have Vragash, who is one of the best like DPS stroke CC champions in the game. Because on a 3-turn cooldown, he has an AoE decreased defense, and that's also an AoE stun. And it is, you place the stun and the decreased defense, or you place the decreased defense before attacking, so he's a affinity friendly debuffer in that regard. So yeah, honestly, if you do happen to get lucky and you get any of these legendaries, I think you're going to be better off than you were before. Maybe Lysanthier might be the most niche of them, just being like a specifically Hydra DPS. But aside from that, anyone else is going to be really serviceable somewhere in the game for you. In terms of the epics, like I mentioned, is a little bit less so like super desirable, but there are some good champions in the mix here. You've got Morag Bronzelock, a decent ally attack champion / defensive based nuker. Grush is a decent one, but obviously you get him for free, so you probably don't need him, but extra copy could be empowerment. Tyrell, decent debuffer, AoE decreased defense, but it is on a 4-turn cooldown. Seeker, kind of more popular in like old school at this point Demon Lord Clan Boss teams, but he does help you get to the 2-to-1 speed ratios, and he's really semi-reliable. Provoke on the A1, increase attack, turn meter fill. Hatatsu, a lot of people like him. He has like increase defense, I think, continuous heals, and also has decreased attack and a leech in the kit. He's decent, but I've just never really found a place to use him personally, but that doesn't mean he's a bad champion by any means. And then lastly, I guess Duck the Pierce is good, debuffer, 3-turn cooldown, really solid, and then AoE counterattack on everyone but himself on Skullcrusher. So yeah, the epics overall leave a little bit to be desired compared to the magnitude of the legendaries, but nonetheless, you know, that is just how it's going to be. In terms of your odds, this is pretty standard at this point, but 6% chance to get a legendary. Of course, the highest likelihood is that you get the headline champion, so he's slightly, there's more cards of him in the deck, if you want to think about it that way, relative to the 6%. But 94% chance to get an epic, meaning that the most likely outcome, I always like to say this, is that you're going to walk away with an epic, particularly if you're just going for the one free summon that we'll get from the Gear Ascension tournament. We'll look at that in a second, and it will cost you 40 fragments to get said summon. So let's hop over to that tournament. It's pretty par for the course. We've seen these for months now, but Gear Ascension tournament, you can do this in the Sand Devil or the Phantom Shogun's Grove, with the Phantom Shogun's Grove being a little bit better. Ironically, in order to get the most amount of points, you really want to get like the lowest tier of the oil and the extract, which is kind of odd, but nonetheless, that's just how the math works. But the more lesser stuff you get, the better points you're going to get per run. But yeah, it's still going to take you probably upwards of like 3,000 to 4,000 energy in order to get all the way out to 12,000. At least assuming you're farming stage 25. If you're farming something less, it's going to take you even more. But yeah, it's definitely possible to do this. As you can see, I'm not really trying that hard. I think I had like the advanced quest to farm Sand Devil 5 times, so I did that, and that's the amount of points I have. But yeah, I'm not going for this one, unfortunately. It's just kind of overlapping a little bit too much with the Crocat fusion, and so that just makes it untenable for me to do both at the same time without burning a bunch of gems for this. And I happen to have a lot of the champions already. Like I said, 3 Mishinakis. I have Rima, I have Stultus, I have Ragash. The only ones I'd really be looking for from that group, if I can remember, I think it would probably be Fearol and Freya would probably be my top 2. But yeah, this just doesn't feel worth it to me under the circumstances, given the time constraint, with my primary focus being on completing the fusion. However, if there had been energy, 1,000 energy in the clan shop, that would have tempted me to kind of try and do a little bit of both. But doing it from scratch is just not really that desirable to me. But if you are not going for the fusion, then I definitely recommend that you try and max out this Gear Ascension tournament, because I don't know what you've been doing for the past week and a half, but hopefully you do have enough resources to max this out if you're not going for the fusion, although I would really wonder why you wouldn't be, because he seems pretty awesome. But yeah, there's not really much more to say about this particular summon pool. We're kind of we should be used to the format of these, so that is going to conclude the free-to-play review of the Defenders summon pool. Let me know in the comment section down below, do you plan to go for the air quotes free summon in order to try your luck at getting one of these lovely legendaries and or one of these relatively average epics? And if you do get something amazing, be sure to let me know about that as well. As always, if you did find this video helpful, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and feel free to hit the subscribe button down below if and only if you're enjoying the content overall on the channel for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching and have a good one.